The cultural heritage, tourism and human-wildlife conflict are some of the issues that will be addressed by a delegation of over 200 scientists and researchers who are attending the 21st Annual Savanna Science Network that is currently underway at the Kruger National Park.
Yeah, the Science Network meeting provides an opportunity for scientists to share their latest research findings conducted in national parks and other conservation areas within the Savanna biome. Kruger National Park spokesperson Isaac Phaahla will chat to us this morning.
And we speak to Isaac Phaahla. Good morning, Ike. Thank you so much for making time for us. Speak to us about what's on the agenda for this network meeting.
Good morning to you, Aldrin, and good morning to my ladies and your viewers. Technology is failing us, otherwise I would have been privileged to speak to you face to face. Anyway, it's always exciting to host this important conference and network session. You know, it brings together a diverse group of scientists and researchers to share knowledge and to interrogate what they have learned over the past 12 months. This event also offers an opportunity for young scientists to interact with mature ones, thereby sharing ideas and possibly getting to establish those long-term mentorship relations. So what's going to be happening now is it's quite busy. People are registering, and then it will get underway in about an hour or so. And there will be papers and posters which are going to be delivered and discussed among the delegations. As you know, biodiversity management is knowledge-based these days and not on sentiment. And it is important for conservation. We'll also have conservation managers coming to take part in the conference until the 7th.
Yeah. One of the major issues that has been raised specifically in South Africa and that area of the Kruger National Park as well, specifically the eastern parts of the country, is the impact of climate change. Is that part of the discussion that will be taking place over the next couple of days?
The impact of global warming are being studied. It's an ongoing study, and there will be a paper that's going to be delivered on that. There is obviously a huge concern about what the impact is. In fact, one of the things that led to this science network being established was to study the impact of the floods that occurred in 2000 and what were the causes of that. So the Kruger, for the past 100 years, has kept record of events that happen because data is very important when it comes to understanding how the system works and how best to manage the system. So it's one of the issues that are going to be delivered, and we have a report that comes out every year on research that has been done on various subjects, and we will be able to take the nation into confidence and share the information with you.
Yeah. Another one is the animal-human life conflict or coexistence, which is a major issue. And sometimes you do find some animals escaping from conservation parks as well as areas such as the Kruger National Park. But the big concern is also developments that are happening around those particular areas and how it's also encroaching on the space of animals.
Yes, in early days, you'll remember the management of this area, especially the Kruger National Park, it was more about fauna and flora. But it has been realized with time that people have to be a part of managing the system, and especially in light of shared spaces where wildlife is adjacent to communities. We have to find ways for those communities to derive value out of the protected areas. And if they derive any value, then they are going to be protecting the animals and work towards a harmonious relationship of being able to live with those animals. One scientist made an example about the elephants that always go out. There are trees which are planted which taste palatable to the animals. And they go out there not to terrorize the communities, but they just go in there to feed. But the reaction of the communities has always been that this is a Kruger animal, while it should be an animal that the Kruger is looking after on behalf of all South Africans. So it's something that is going on. We have meetings that are lined up where we are going to try and get onto the same page with the communities. Yep. We have relationships with them that they can notify us, and we are able to drive the animals back successfully.
Yeah. Another one, just last week, the Minister of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment, Barbara Creecy, releasing the report on rhino poaching. And I guess for the Kruger National Park that during this networking session, you'll also have a good story to tell, because the Minister said that the park has recorded a 37% decrease from 2022 of rhino poaching.
We certainly have a good story to tell, and our large mammal scientist was saying to me, the big story is that the recruitment, meaning that the birth rate compared to those animals that have been poached, they are at a level, and that's very exciting. And the 37% decrease has come with a lot of hard work and a lot of investment in technology, especially when it comes to owning the night and fighting against poaching. So we are very proud of that. But we're not going to let our laurels down. We're not going to let our guard down. We always say that it's very risky for people to come into the Kruger National Park. But that seems to have driven the poachers to other areas of the country, which is of concern. But we stand ready. And in this setup, in this session, again, there's going to be sharing of ideas of what the Kruger National Park has successfully implemented that can be implemented in other areas.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. Isaac Phaahla is the spokesperson for the Kruger National Park. They're speaking to us about this science network meeting that will be taking place amongst the scientists as well as conservationists, which is, of course, a big issue. And it's just mentioned now, the point that was raised by the Minister of Forestry and Fisheries, Barbara Creecy, that when it comes to rhino poaching, the hotspot now is in KwaZulu-Natal, Hluhluwe, Mfolozi Park, where around 307 rhino were poached.
Oh, goodness. I mean, if you've seen one of those, and this is one thing that the Kruger National Park does well, is really that education around rhino poaching. If you've seen a poached rhino in front of you where, you know, the horns have been cut off, it's truly, truly heartbreaking. So lots of work that needs to be done there.